The deadline for submitting a response to the Party Impact Assessment for R0152 is the 15th of November 2024. In this short video, we'll provide you with guidance on how to interpret the associated solution documents to support the submission of your response. R0152, Revision to the Consolidated Metering Code of Practice, or COMCOP, was raised to address issues identified in the COMCOP drafting, which were leading to REC parties being unable to comply with their obligations. Following a period of solution development alongside industry stakeholders, the Code Manager has prepared and circulated a number of solution documents, which detail and illustrate the proposed amendments. You'll find these by downloading the legal text for R0152 Party IA from the Impact Assessment page on the REC portal. The four solution documents are an updated Word version of the COMCOP, including redlined marked up changes, an Excel version of the same marked up document to enable filtering, a brand new Category 3 document known as the COMCOP Supplementary Guidance document, and identified changes to REC Schedule 1, interpretations and definitions. In this video, we'll explain how you can use the change-marked Word and Excel versions of the COMCOP to understand the proposed amendments to the solution. Firstly, it's worth noting that there is no need to review both the Word and Excel documents, as they contain identical information. We provided both so that you can look at the information in your preferred format. If you do happen to identify any differences between the two formats, you should consider the Word version to be the intended design, and we'd appreciate if you advise us of the inconsistency as part of your impact assessment response. Let's quickly recap some of the major proposed changes to COMCOP included in R0152. Firstly, the creation of an auditable party column to differentiate between those clauses that parties need to be aware of within their role and those clauses which they will be audited against. Secondly, the removal of MI from the SMART column following feedback that this has generated confusion between the terms MI, AMI and EMO. Thirdly, the removal of some appendices which were examples of guidance moving into the new COMCOP Supplementary Guidance document. And finally, the restructuring of the document into 7 major new sections. Those are Scope and Responsibilities, Company Prerequisites, Equipment Selection, Pre-installation, Installation, Post-installation, and Audit and Survey. Now, let's look at the change marked documents in more detail. The document titled R0152 Draft COMCOP v0.6 is the new draft redlined Word version of COMCOP. The redlining captures any text that has been removed, added or changed, and any clauses which have been removed, added or moved to a different section of the document. Comments appear throughout the document, provide more detail about the amendments. Here's an example in clause 1.1g, a new clause added to the document as proposed by legal advisors. And here's an example with a comment that explains the clause has been reintroduced that was previously within the Smart Meter Installation Code of Practice, or SMECOP. Clauses proposed to be removed will appear like this example with clause 14.8.10. Where clauses are moved to a different part of the document, there will be comments next to the current location of the clause stating its clause number in the version of the COMCOP which is currently live, and comments next to where it's been removed from stating where it's been moved to in this draft version. The document titled COMCOP Review Excel Sheet Version with Notes is the Excel version of the redline changes. The Code Manager has created this so that parties are able to filter if they wish to. There's a question within the impact assessment regarding whether parties find this useful, and see value in an Excel version of ComCop being made available on the Rec portal, and we appreciate your views. The 7 sections of ComCop each have their own tab within the spreadsheet. Each tab has column headings. Section confirms the section number of each clause. Section name. Subsection confirming the subsection number of each clause. Subsection name. Clause confirming the clause number of each clause. Clause text. Gas involvement, which will identify whether there is an AMI, ASP and or MAM involvement. Smart involvement, which will identify whether there's an energy supplier involvement. Electricity involvement, which will identify whether there's a DNO, MOA, EMO and or SIP involvement. Work category, which will confirm whether this impacts categories 1, 2, 3 or 4 works. You can see ComCop Appendix 1 for more details about work categories. Auditable party will confirm if AMIs, ASPs, MAMs suppliers, DNOs, MOAs and or EMOs should expect to be audited against that particular clause. Came from confirms which of the original 4 codes, e.g. SMECOP, MCOP, MOCOP or ASPCOP, the clause originally came from when ComCop was created under Rec Change R0047, the Metering Code of Practice Consolidation Review. Changes provides an overview of changes that have been made to the text, or to the parties in the involvement columns, or if the clause is new, removed, or has been moved. And discussion notes frames any discussions held as part of the workgroup, which the code manager felt it would be valuable for parties to be aware of. The numbering of the clauses has not been updated in the Excel version to help parties map the clauses to the current version of ComCop if they wish to do so. For example, in the Excel sheet, clause 15.7.1 states, at the time of installation, the AMI shall draw the gas consumer's attention to any warning notices and operation instructions for the meter. 15.7.1 is the clause number this text has in the current live version of ComCop. Section 15 is consumer engagement. Subsection 15.7 is prepayment specifics. By navigating to consumer engagement and then prepayment specifics in the draft Word version, the new clause number is available if you require it, in this case 8.6.1. The Code Manager has manually added redlining to the Excel document, as this is not functionality available within Microsoft Excel. This is done to show any changes to text within clauses and any changes made to the involvement columns. In most cases, the Changes column has been populated, but where it has been left blank, the redlining still indicates that changes exist. Clauses 15.7.3 and 15.7.4 both have redlining indicating changes to the text, even though the Changes column is blank. Clause 15.7.3 has redlining and some summary text to the changes in the Changes column. Clauses that have been removed entirely will have a confirmation of that in the Changes column. Clauses that have been moved have retained their original clause number so parties can easily see where these originated from. There will also be confirmation in the Changes column. This may confirm the specific clause they moved to, or may just confirm the relevant section or subsection. In this example, clause 14.10.22 has been moved to subsection 14.1 and shows the notes confirming where it came from in its new position and where it has been moved to against its legacy position. New clauses will state that they are new, or they will be blank in the clause column, as they do not have a current ComCop clause number, and there will be a summary in the Changes column confirming they're new and either where they come from or why they've been introduced. In this example, subsection 11.3 shows a new clause with confirmation that this was an MCOP clause that was missed in the original consolidation. The colour coding of clauses generally is red means removed, yellow means moved, and green means new. However, this is not entirely consistent across the document, so the Code Manager advises that the Changes column is always referenced for confirmation. When submitting your impact assessment response, please remember that the deadline for all responses being received is 23:59 on the 15th of November. Submit your response by navigating to the impact assessment page for R0152 and choosing to add response before uploading your response document, providing your email address, and clicking to publish. If you need any support throughout this process, you can always contact us by emailing change.management@recmanager.co.uk.